तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि वंश कल्पतरुवक्ष कृपा सिंधु पतितनंद पवनेभ्यो वैष्णव। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे राम। So dear devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are here together, 15 of us. So thank you for joining. So we're discussing Shri Sikshastakam, and we are on verse number 8. We can chant the verse first and then read the translation, and then we will go through some discussion points. Ashlishyava padratam pinashtuma darshanan maramhatam kurotu va yatha tatha va vidhatu lampito mat prananas tu saevana para. Ashlishyava padratam pinashtuma darshanan maramhatam kurotu va yatha tatha va vidhatu lampito mat prananastu saevana para. Ashulishyava padratam pinashtuma adarshnan maramhatam kurotu va yatha tatha va vidhatu lampato mat prananastu saevana para. Ashlishya, embracing with great pleasure, va or padaratam, who have fallen at the lotus feet. Pinashtu, let him trample, me, Darshanat, by not being visible, Maramhatam, broken-hearted, Kurutu, let him make, Va, or Yatha, as he likes, Tatha, so, Va, or Vidhatu, let him do, Lampata, a debauchee, who mixes with other women, Mat Prananatha, the Lord of my life, Tu, but, Sah, he, Ev, only, Na aparah, not anyone else. Translation by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maid servant who has fallen at his lotus feet. Or let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee after all and can do whatever he likes. But still, he alone and no one else is the worshipable Lord of my heart. So this is verse number 8. I'll try to say something about the context, and then we will come to the verse. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he placed all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in 3 sections: Adi, Madhya, and Antya. And this is the last chapter of the Antya Leela, chapter number 20. So it's the Sikshastakam prayers come in the Antya of the Antya Leela, at the very end of the Antya Leela. That's one understanding we want to have to make sure that we understand the position of Sikshastakam, where it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the very, very end of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then we also want to bring to the forefront the context. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is residing in Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 18 years in Jagannath Puri. First 6 years were he was in Jagannath Puri in the beginning. Then he went to South India. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled to Vrindavan, north part of India, Allahabad, Banaras, Vrindavan, and then he came back to Puri. First 6 years of those 18 years. And that makes up the Madhya Leela, the first 6 years, most of it. And he was meeting the King Pratap Rudra, Maharaj, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was meeting all the devotees who would come from Navadvip Dham every year for Rath Yatra. For first 6 years, he was very, what we can say, public-faced. He was open to see and meet the public, not still very carefully as a sannyasi. It took great effort for King Pratap Rudra, King of Puri, to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It took great amount of effort on his part. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being a sannyasi, did not want to mingle with the mundane people of this world. But it's explained that these last 12 years, good part of it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resided in Gambhira. If some of you have been to Jagannath Puri, you must have seen Gambhira, small ashram, and in that ashram there is a small room. In that room, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent most of his time. And mostly these two devotees, Srila Ramananda Roy and Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami Maharaj, they were allowed to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that Gambhira. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will show so many signs of ecstasy, even up to the point of banging his head against the wall. His head would bleed in separation of Krishna and Vrindavan. We all understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, originally at the time of birth known as Nimai Pandit, he's Krishna in the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. So when he shows his emotional part, those emotions are of Srimati Radharani. Because as we said, his mood is of Srimati Radharani. Mood translates to emotions. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that Gambhira, in that small room, as Srimati Radharani would remember Krishna of Vrindavan 24/7, reciting verses from Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami, reciting verses from Bhagavatam, reciting verses from other scriptures, and conversing with Sadhu Damodar Goswami and Srila Ramananda Roy, Lalita Sakhi and Vishakha Sakhi. So here you can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Srimati Radharani with his two intimate Sakhis, Vishakha and Lalita. These three personalities in that little room are in full ecstasy. What's that ecstasy? They're feeling a complete separation from their Prananath Krishna of Vrindavan. And that's what they talk, that's what they breathe, that's what they smell. So it went on for many, many, many years. And hardly anybody would be allowed to enter in that domain of Gambhira, because Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, being a personal secretary to Mahaprabhu, he did not want other devotees to misunderstand the ecstasy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the context. This is where at the very end of those 12 years, at the very end of the Antya of the Anta Leela, in that context, in that association, in that mood, these verses were spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Srila Ramananda Rai, and these verses were not necessarily in sequence, 8 verses. It's explained that our acharyas have actually put together 8, but they were spoken. It could be during different days even, and then in between some other verses were broken, but then these 8 were considered by acharyas as the core of these prayers of Sikshastakam. So that's the context. So let's now discuss the verse number 8. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when I say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please also put in your mind Srimati Radharani. Because these verses, especially in this particular mood, in the setting of these 12 years in Gambhira, it's great separation from Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is actually speaking from her heart in the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the first word is Ashlishya. Ashlishya means embrace. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, my Krishna, you may embrace me, Ashlishya. Va or Padaratam Vinashtu Mam. Padaratam means one who falls at the lotus feet. So Vinashtu Mam means trample upon, kicked around. So the first line says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Srimati Radharani is saying to Lord Krishna, that I will fall at your lotus feet, Padaratam. Then you decide. Because when somebody falls at your lotus feet, you have 2 choices. Either you pick up that person and embrace that person, welcome that person, bless that person, or if you don't like that person, you may kick that person, you may trample upon that person. The two choices we all have. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Krishna, you have those two choices. Padratam, I will fall at your lotus feet. You may, Ashlishya, you may embrace me, or you may kick me around. You may trample upon me. You may give me difficulties. That's the first line. Second, Adarshanan maramhatam krotuva. Darshanan, darshan. Darshan means coming in front of you. You say, you know, I want deity darshan, I want devotee darshan, I want Prabhupada's deity darshan. But here it says adarshanan, mean invisible, not visible. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Krishna, you may become invisible from my eyes. You may disappear from my vision. And when you disappear, what will happen? Maram hatam krutuva. You will break my heart. And you're allowed to disappear from my vision and break my heart. Maram hatam means break my heart. And then the third sentence, he says, Yatha tatha va vidhatu lampato. Yatha tatha, as you like, you may do that. Va vidhatu lampato. You may also act like a debauchee. Debauchee means who mixes with other women. So these three lines, either you embrace me, or you trample upon me, or you disappear from my vision and break my heart, or you may act like a debauchee. These are the three emotions. These are the highest emotions. Our Acharya explains, these are the highest loving emotions any devotee can have or express to his Lord. But here, fourth line, Hare Krishna, if you can please, everybody keep muted, that would be nice. The last line is the punch line. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even if you do those three things, still, mat prana nas tu, you are my Lord of my heart. You're my Lord, mat prana nas. You're Lord of my life. Nath means Lord, prana means my life. Mat pran. You're Lord of my life. We call you my bloodline. Tu sa ev na apra. There is nobody else who can take your place. Sometimes we say some, devotees, if they leave, if they move from our Sangha to another Sangha, we say we can never replace you. Your contributions, your loving exchanges, your they were so much nourishing to so many devotees, that now you're leaving, we can never replace you. And that's na apara. There is nobody else other than you who is my prananath, Lord of my heart. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayer. This is Srimati Radharani's prayer to Lord Krishna. Um, um, it's very deep. It's very esoteric in a sense. It doesn't sound like it's from this plane, this earthly plane, for most of us. Just like Kunti Maharani's prayers, don't seem to like from for us mundane conditioned soul. These are prayers in Ragatmika Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, in that mood of Brajvasis, these prayers are made. We are Vidhi Bhakti, Vede Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakta. We don't even, at least myself, we don't even have Nishtha. We are stuck in Shraddha and in Nartha Nivritti. And these prayers happen on the prema level, bhav level. So most of this, what Srimati Radharani in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressing his emotions to Lord Krishna, seem to be very high, tall order for most of us. And it's good we see that way, that it's very high, tall order. We don't take it cheaply. So what we learn from this? I mean, you all went through those 7 previous, how chanting the holy name, Cheto Darpan Marjanam, and then the last prayer I think it is, without Govinda, everything is Shunyam. What do we learn? That sometimes in our own lives, we also see situation, even sometime with devotees, sometime with deities, sometime with our chanting, sometime could be with our scriptural understanding, that Lord Krishna is not seemingly, apparently, it seems like Lord Krishna is not doing this ashlishya, is not embracing me. He's kicking me around. Pinastu ma. He's not appearing in front of me, darshanan, breaking my heart. I've been trying week after week, month after month, year after year. It's been 20 years, 30 years. He's still a darshanan. He's still pinastu mam. He's not embracing me. So this connection with Krishna, this love with Krishna, can be on these 3-4 levels. One is aslishya, that okay, you pray for something, you get it, so that's an embrace. But then there are days and weeks and months and years when you pray and pray and pray, but there is no reciprocation. There is only pinastu mam. There's only kicking around. But then there are days that it's not only there is no reciprocation, but a darshanan, there is a rejection. One is no reciprocation from the Lord, but other is or from devotees. But then it gets worse when those devotees don't even want to talk to us. When our mind is not seeing Krishna's hand anywhere. Krishna is not visible to us, adarshana, that hurts even more. There is a rejection. But then the third level, where it's not only we had no reciprocation from devotees and Krishna, we had a rejection from devotees and Krishna, but then devotees and Krishna, they are giving so much mercy and reciprocation with other devotees. Lampato mean other devotees. So sometimes some of you are initiated, some of them will get initiated, or even if you're not initiated, this dilemma you might find in the temple that some senior devotee come and he or she is meeting everybody, but not you. That falls into lampato. You may try to meet that devotee, but you miss it. You get very close, but then you miss it. That's lampato. But here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and our Acharyas explained, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that in all these conditions, here Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna, she is sharing that in all these conditions, Krishna, you are my prananath, and there is nobody else who I will take shelter of. Even if you neglect me, reject me, don't reciprocate with me, and find others to reciprocate, I will never leave you. I am yours. It's an understanding that requires tremendous amount of purification. That's why first verse, that Cheto Darpan Marjanam, third verse, Trinadapi Sunichena. So that's our sadhana. The first 5 verses are our sadhana. 6, 7, 8 is the Purjojana and Abhidya. But sadhana also Abhidya. Sadhana is also Abhidya. So it's explained that all 8 verses actually constitute the Abhidya, the process of getting to this point, that when our heart and mind says, Krishna, no matter what, I am yours. No matter what. This last line, Mat Prana Nastu Evas Napara, it means no matter what. You send me to hellish planet, you send me to heavenly planets, you send me to Golok Vrindavan, or you send me to Vaikuntha Loka, or you want me to come back to the Smritu Loka, whatever. Like when His Divine Grace, our Srila Prabhupada ji, he was sick. Devotees were praying and they were asking Prabhupada, you please stay, don't leave. We need you. We will die. We are so immature. We need so much more training. How ISKCON will run? So Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you can pray to Krishna. So they said, yes. We are praying to Krishna that please keep our Guru Maharaj. Don't let him go. Srila Prabhupada said, even better, you please tell Krishna, please do as you desire so. Whatever you desire, so you do that. So that Srila Prabhupada's Divine Grace mood is same in line with this Sikshastakam verse number 8. Again, I confess, I'm just a peon here. I'm just saying something what's in the verse by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, but the implementation of this is very, very challenging and difficult for most of us sadhakas. This is the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan. And I'll give you two quick examples and then we will stop in the next 5-10 minutes. One is the Chataka bird. Chataka bird is explained. His prananath is the rainwater. He will not go to, you can put a huge pond in your backyard or get him distillery water or oceans or fountains and rivers and freshwater lakes and glaciers. He is not going to go anywhere and drink water. He wait for the rainwater to come, open his mouth, and is ready. One of our acharyas explained, he's small bird, not big. And what if rain comes at a very high speed and kill him? He could be killed. But his focus is rainwater. His prananath is rainwater. So that intensity here in this verse is shown when Shriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, you are my prananath. And there is no apara, there is nobody else. There is no other lake water, ocean water, glacier water, there's rainwater that will wait. And then gopis of Vrindavan also in this mood. Our Chaitanya Charan Prabhu mentions in one of his discussions that it's not that, the gopis of Brajavasi gopis are very modest because, they're villager girls. So they would meet Krishna very privately without their husbands knowing anything about it. Very carefully, with a lot of shame in their heart, they would hidingly meet. So that's their internal side. Internally, they were hiding. But then it's explained when Lord Krishna is getting ready to go to Dwarka, Akrura comes on a chariot. It's explained that gopis actually prayed all night that let overnight some storm comes. Indra Devta brings some huge thunderstorms and some hurricanes come so that this plan of Krishna leaving Vrindavan fails. They were praying all night. And when in the morning they woke up, they saw that they didn't sleep actually, but when they noticed that no hurricane came and now Krishna is going to leave. So it's explained that their internal love for Krishna also now broke open the chains, and they actually externally also came and they lie down in front of the chariot and they said, you are our prananath. You want to leave us, you want to take, then you must take our prana with you. So your chariot should go over our bodies. We don't want to live. And Acharyas say so many more deeper, and then the second time so Krishna had to leave, he went to Mathura and his wonderful pastimes. But then eventually this Kurukshetra time comes when Lord Krishna comes from Dwarka to Kurukshetra, and all the gopis come to Kurukshetra to meet. Many Brajavasis come. And it's explained by the Acharyas that when Krishna with he's a king of the world at that time, Dwarka, and he has huge, mukut and beautiful golden diamond dresses. And so when he comes in front of these gopis, especially when Lord Krishna sees, when King of Dwarkadish sees Srimati Radharani, Acharya explains that he was feeling like, I am a criminal. I must touch the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and ask for forgiveness. And why I have left you all and put you in so much grief over so many years, almost 80, 90 years. But then Srimati Radharani responded to Krishna's emotions and she said, no, no, no. You don't have to touch my lotus feet. I want to touch your feet. It's me who is responsible for this separation. It's me who is unfortunate, because if I was fortunate, if I really loved you, then I should not be living without you at this point. Because my body still exists, that means I don't have a true love for you, true devotion for you, Krishna. There is this amazing conversation between the Lord and his consort, Mother Srimati Radharani, in the same mood that Srimati Radharani is saying, you are my Prananath. There is nobody else. You may do whatever you like, you may act whatever way you like, but that's our Srila Prabhupada's God brother, His Holiness Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. He used the word, in Krishna's domain, law of justice does not prevail. Law of mercy prevails. Law of justice says, Krishna, I'm serving you. Therefore, how you can trample upon me? I'm chanting your holy names. I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. I did my Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Bhaiva. I'm drinking, Gita Nagari milk, and I'm taking care of the deities. I'm taking care of these many sevas. I am serving. How you can trample upon me? How you can disappear from my heart and break my heart? How you can favor other devotees and put me on the side? That's law of justice. But law of justice has no place in Krishna's kingdom. It's law of mercy. And because Lord Krishna is supremely compassionate, and out of that compassion, out of his supreme mercy, he's ready to pick up that broken wheel of the chariot and barge to kill Bhishma Pitama, so that Bhishma Pitama's vow remains true. Even Krishna's vow can be broken. He is ready to break his own vow to protect the vow of his devotees. That's a compassion, that's a mercy that does not require justification. And in many other instances, many other ways, we see this in Lord Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's also pray at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, especially in this Antya part of Antya Leela, especially the last verse, where that Srimati Radharani mood is teaching us what should be the ultimate mood of a devotee, ultimate aspiration of a devotee. And let's pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to also empower us, so we can also imbibe maybe small steps, baby steps in that direction. And one day we can also feel that, Krishna, you are my Prannath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Govinda, you are my Prannath, no matter what. ISKCON, Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, they are our Prannath, no matter what. My devotees, my friend devotees, my neighboring devotees, they are my Prannath. It starts with devotees, and then I'll stop here. We'll leave a few minutes for discussion, some comments, some reflections from all of you. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to share some thoughts, reflections? You can please unmute yourself now and share your heart. Hare Krishna. Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, I hope you were connected. Because I don't see anybody's videos, so I can't tell who actually participated fully. But if you have participated fully in last 40 minutes, then I'm sure you have some reflections to share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much for this nice class. And it's the first time I heard.
Who is this?
Anjana Prabhuji. I'm Anjana.
Yes, Anjana. Please go ahead.
Today, first time I heard so much about Radharani in your class. Yes, and how the separation was felt and how the details like you was giving. So it's a nice to hear about Radharani. If you can add a little bit more, just it's like an incomplete kind of satisfaction. Even if we attend these classes or if we do chanting, there is always missing, right? We are just getting small portion of it, right? This devotion, the way it was explained in the class. So, but it was very nice to hear about Radharani.
Thank you. Thank you for your reflection. And yeah, Radha Tattva and Guru Tattva is very technical. My request to you is please keep hearing as much as possible on this channel, in the temple, or other YouTube channels. And by Krishna's grace, you will know so much more about Srimati Radharani's mood and role in Krishna Lila.
Yes, thank you.
Any other reflection? Anybody else? Maybe I'll name some devotees. Maybe you can. Somebody's put in the chat. Okay.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Gurushala Bhopal.
Prabhuji, today's lecture was very nice, very informative. Truly didn't know much more about Radharani and felt very nice to hear about Radharani. And one line touches me a lot, like when Krishna returned from the Dwarka and begging sorry to Radharani, but still Radharani was saying that no, it's don't beg sorry, it's she took it on herself, so it was very nice. The bhava is so deep that for us, like for me, like for fallen people, we will not understand that bhava. That is true, but still by listening only we can feel the love. That is very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you, very nicely you explained, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for your reflection. That tells me you heard it. And that's very important. When we connect to these calls, we hear something and we take home something that purify our hearts. Thank you. We're indebted to you.
So, Prabhuji, my question is, by this last verse, what we can take away from the last verse in a one line or two line? That what for me, like I'm a beginner, I cannot able to digest all the thing. But yes, for me, what should I take away from the last verse of? Uh,
I thought I mentioned that, so maybe you missed it. I can repeat, but I would like somebody else to repeat. So maybe I'll pick somebody because you all are muted. Who I should pick? Let me see. Who's the lucky one? Jagdish Sima Prabhu, my neighbor. I pick Jagdish Sima Prabhu to tell the answer to that question Mataji placed.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hari
I joined little late, but I'll try whatever I heard.
Yeah, now you have to say what I said, okay?
No, that not maybe, not exactly I can repeat.
See, I catch you. You try, let's see what happens.
Yeah, because I heard in middle like you mentioned that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Madhya Leela, when he was hitting his head and two very close associates only can see him, the separation. So same thing we see the Prabhupada Mataji asking when Prabhupada like traveling to Western country and he was also missing and dependent on Krishna. Like I'm your puppet in your hand. Do whatever you do.
That's nice. That's a pretty reasonable reflection. I like that. Maybe I'll ask one or two Prabhu. I know Ashish Prabhu is very scholarly. Ashish Prabhu, would you like to share your answer to Mataji's point?
Prabhu, I am not qualified, Prabhu, right now.
Oh, you are highly qualified. I know that.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. So this area, this highest stages of Rasha, this is the conjugal loves, right? This type of Rasha is very very higher stage, Prabhu. It's topmost stage. So Prabhu, forgive me, Prabhu. I am just scrolling. You can tell that.
I like that when you say Rasha. That's Bengali sweet.
Yes. So, Prabhu,
Thank
that's the reason. It is very difficult to, if you don't become at least you have to have some stage to comment these things, Prabhu.
Yeah, the
So
question Mataji asked that, what's the application of this verse, what we take home? So maybe, what about Sachi Rani Mataji?
so that's my perspective of that. Though I am not qualified, but I am not that's in the stage. But whatever the things, you have to completely surrender to the Krishna. That is the one take. I think that is the one of the point you already mentioned, and just Narasimha Prabhu already mentioned that, and Prabhupada told that whatever you can do. Prabhupada told that you can dance, whatever dance, whatever you can do, Krishna you can do on me. So that is the complete surrender, right? So Radharani is Radharani is topmost devotee, and Radharani has the topmost Radharani is devotion and surrender is unparalleled. So like Prabhupada's devotion and surrender is unparalleled. So from this verse we can learn from this surrendering things. I think that Prabhu, that is my point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Bol Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Satyabhama Mataji, would you like to share your answer to that particular point? I think many devotees are there, but they're not there. We can end if nobody has any comment, reflections, questions. Amartananda Prabhu, you want to chime in? Okay.
He's joining Prabhu. He's trying to unmute the phone. It's just struggling with it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandvat all Krishna
Yes,
Prabhu.
you're unmuted now. Please share your heart. What Mataji asked, what's in it for us? In this verse. So,
I first of all apologize, Prabhu. I was on a work call. I just joined 10 minutes back, but I got bits and pieces. I can only share my understanding of Sikshastakam and what Guru Maharaj's instructions have been to one devotee.
this
So,
particular verse focus is the verse number 8, right?
yeah, basically you can treat me any which way you like. So that is selflessness. Selflessness. And the earlier verses show us how to get to the stage. That platform is humility. Now, many a times what happens is we are all conditioned to fruitive, what's in it for me? All of us, that's our nature. And the three modes of material nature pushes us in that way. So when we get to bhakti, many a times even the pastimes and the sweet mellows, that also we get some kind of a pleasure, but that pleasure is like you can say in the mode of goodness. So one devotee had asked Radhanath Swami that, Maharaj, I love Kirtan, and we understand that everything should be done for Krishna's pleasure. However, I engage in Kirtan and it gives me pleasure and I feel guilty. So what should we do? So Maharaj said, yes, the goal is everything should be for Krishna's pleasure. Whether I get anything in return or don't get it really doesn't matter. So continue doing what you're doing because it is an act of devotional service. It will purify this mentality of self-pleasure. Pleasure, whether even in goodness like philosophy or sometimes, even the sweet pastimes, it really touches our heart, so to say. Even then, engage in it, and gradually that sense will reduce, and that purification will happen. So, one end we may think that, oh, Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. This is all for pure devotees like Prabhupada. I'm so fallen. What can I do? Is this applicable to me? Yes, it is applicable to all of us, even the most fallen person. The only thing you have to do is, as Prabhupada said, catch hold of my dhoti and I'll take you back to Godhead, which means follow the instructions honestly, truthfully, continuously. Then these things will go away, and then we can really understand what those mellows are and what the pastimes are and what the pleasure, real pleasure is. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji. I am also new students, but I can tell you that Radha's love so much to Krishna that Radha says that if Krishna loves to another gopi and get attracted with another gopi, he's my Pranath. That's what his last verse means, right?
Correct.
He's still my Pranath. I still love him. Whatever he wants to do, I am giving my pleasure to other gopi. Let Krishna enjoy with them, and I don't mind. That's what Radha is trying to tell Krishna.
Yes.
But you are still my Pranath. Whatever it's there. Is that what does it mean you are asking?
Yes, yes. So that's a very good understanding. It's Srimati Radharani's devotion, love for Krishna is unconditional. It's unconditional. No condition. That's why I was using the word no matter what. I'm ready to give up the bad. In Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's words, he said gopis were ready to give up the bad, but they were also ready to give up the good to love Krishna. That's what makes it unconditional. Good and bad, that sounds to my mind good and bad. Maybe it sounds good and bad to my family life and my friends and my others. I'm ready to put everything at stake for Krishna's pleasure. That's Srimati Radharani's, that's Brajavasi's mood. That's that Raganuga Bhakti's mood. That's what we're told by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yes, that's a very good understanding, Anuradha Mataji. You may be new, but your devotion to your bhakti is matured. Our Acharyas explains bhakti is not just one lifetime thing. You might have done your karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga in many lifetimes. So now your bhakti is very matured. So we could be new to the temple or devotees or chanting the holy names because of some other family obligations in our last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. But the seed has been fructified and your bhakti is very mature. We're indebted to you for your devotional service to Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Maybe one other comment before we end.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, everyone. Prabhu, one thing I can share with you.
Yes, Sadhu, please.
Prabhu, this Sikshastakam, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sikshastakam is very, looks like this is a Bengali, this looks like very, the Sanskrit, it looks like very simple, but very, very difficult, Prabhu. You can see that from my point of view, you can read the Bhagavad Gita and other things, but these eight verse, is totally very, very difficult. When it's difficult to understand. The last verse is also very difficult. So I'm thinking that's all of the essence, but everything is, all 8 verse gives the essence, but this 8 verse is very difficult. Uh, Actually, to get to that stage is very like a mountain. You have to cross the Himalaya. Actually, that is my one of the point I want to mention. Satinadapi Sunichana Torurupi Shasnuna. It is very easy to say, Prabhu, but maintain to become like that and to come to that stage or anything, any verse you can see that only first 2 verse is very important for Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We can chant the Hare Krishna Mantra. Very important essence of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is given. What is the names or the Bhagavan's names potency already there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described that thing. But other verse you can see very, very difficult and very deep, uh, and come to the stage is really, really we have to, really very difficult for us like that Konishta Adhikari. We are not able the Konishta Adhikari lower than that. It is very difficult to me. That is my understanding.
Yeah, very, very grounded understanding. This is very grounded. It's real. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu makes a comment around this dilemma. He said many times we find that, it's so difficult. Like you said, the first words is simple, but then things get difficult. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundaram, kavita, va, jagdish, kam. Oh, Krishna, it's difficult. Naam kari bahuda nij sarva shakti. You're seeing Krishna's names spread via so many other names, other incarnations, difficult, no question about it. And now we're coming to this ultimate difficulty, Nashtu mam khatam krutu, break my heart, love other devotees and not me, vidhatu lambato, difficult. So sometimes seeing those difficulties, we may find, I personally find, to be honest, that it's never going to happen. I'm never going to become Krishna conscious. My life can be a waste. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu writes these 2 sentences. He said, so generally when we're in this kind of dilemma, in this mood of difficulty, then we say, hey, how far I have to go to become Krishna conscious? How far I still have to go? And it can become discouraging if my mind keeps saying, how far, how many more weeks and months and years of tapasya, chanting, seva. Now my health is getting worse. I may not be able to do it anymore. So is that a waste? What happened? How far I have to go more? But then he said, we can also pacify our mind and say, how far I have come already. He said, look back 20 years, 25 years, 10 years, look back and then examine yourself today and tell your mind, hey, how far you have come already by Krishna's and devotees' compassion and mercy. He said that's hope giving. That's very hope giving. Instead of saying how far more I have to go, we can say how far I have come along so far by Krishna's arrangement. So yes, the order is tall and we are not so tall. But Krishna's mercy is tall. Krishna's devotees are tall. Prabhupada's compassion is tall. Our Gurudev's compassion is tall. Like my dear friend Amartananda Prabhu mentioned, holding the dhoti of Prabhupada, holding the dhoti of other devotees, friend devotees. That's a shelter.
Prabhuji, can I chant one slok which is written in Charitramrita? Sakhi
Yes,
he stuna moro manera nischai kiba anuraga kare kiba dukha diya mare mor praneshwara Krishna anya nai.
yeah, please translate also. That shloka looks like the same verse 8. You can please translate. You have translation?
I have a translation in Gujarati because I read Gujarati books.
हाँ तो आप इंग्लिश में उसको कर सकते हैं ना for the benefit of all of us.
Oh, my dear Sakhi, my decision is listen to my decision. The Krishna may give me a pain or may love me, but whatever it is the stage, he is my Praneshwar.
Yeah, wonderful. So it's the same 100% same verse as this verse number 8 by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. We will conclude. It's 8:17. We're supposed to end by 8. I wanted your association to be selfish, and that's why we kept it open for a few more minutes. Singeshwar Prabhu, is that okay? You're there? My dear Singeshwar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
We can.
Yes. Yeah.
conclude.
Yes. Yes, please.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you so much, Devakinandan Prabhu. Wonderful class. Nectar. Nicely explained the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what is needed to come to that level of mood. As mentioned that this is practical, is applicable for each and every one of us. How one can reach to that level of pure devotion. That is exactly in that pure devotion, nothing else is there. Nothing is blocking in between Krishna and a devotee. That's why Krishna is so attracted to his devotees. So thank you so much for revealing the science of Krishna, the mood of Krishna. So there are no other comments. Just few announcements. Tomorrow is Ekadashi, so tomorrow we'll conclude the Sikshastakam verses, and tomorrow we'll also have the second section of this 8th verse, and also there will be a conclusion, and then there'll be a question and answer if anybody. So please read and recite and understand these 8 verses thoroughly, and also if you have any questions, please bring that so that anybody has some doubts, it can be answered. Also, we'll be starting next week the offenses against the holy name. There were a lot of inquiries and the questions came up while we were going through these classes. I think it may be ideal that we go through how we can properly chant the holy name and how we can attain this pure love. That was one of the questions today, how we can get to that pure stage, pure devotional stage. One is actually offenses that which we make while we perform the devotion. The most and the foremost is actually the offenses against the holy name. So next 2-3 weeks, we'll be going through the 10 offenses against the holy name, and we take each one in each day. and then we'll go in deep and we'll understand together that what it means to us. Right? It's always referred that a scripture reveals us all this, but depends on this is called hermeneutics. Hermeneutics means what really means to us, right? It may interpret in different ways, but most important thing is actually how it is applicable to us and how it means to us. So it's very important to hear these specific topics. So please join. We'll be going through each offense of each day and understand that how we can prevent, how we can free from all these offenses. Also, there is a small announcement. A bus is going from Parsippany to New Vrindavan. If anybody is interested to go to New Vrindavan and stay for the weekend and come back, please contact Devakinandan Mataji. He just posted that in the group. So it's a golden opportunity. No need to worry about the staying or lodging or going there. I think it's $200. It's completely covered. It's a luxury bus. Go there with the devotees, stay there, attend Mangalarati, and so wonderful, and then come back with the devotees. It's a rare opportunity. If anybody interested, please contact. As mentioned, tomorrow is Ekadashi, and also Sunday we have the Rath Yatra at Octree Road. It starts at 1 o'clock, and so please be there. Then will be we go down to the Dana Bazaar side and the park there, the school or park. And then there'll be also prasadam served after that. Please join. This is the last Rath Yatra we perform. It's kind of an emergency perform. So, and also the upcoming, there are a lot of festivals coming up. And August 30 is the Balram Jayanti and the Moltsav and weekend in Vraj, and then after that Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. So many wonderful festivities. So please engage. This is our golden opportunity. Seva. It's by the devotional service that we can progress further. Yes, we hear all these things, but unless and until we practically, so that's our real realization. Realization we have. But when it's real realization means that when we apply, when we engage in the service, that's what is the maturity of the realization. So thank you so much. Anything else, Devakinandan Prabhu, or anybody else would like to? Any other comments or?
We can conclude.
Okay. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vaishnavanda ki jai, Sikshastakam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Gauranita ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Kodi Vaishnavanda ki jai, Gaura Premanande.
Thank you, Devakinandan Prabhu.
Very